on in the last hour, and that would help me think and work out what the video will be about. So my options were, if I could talk about the darts, which finished yesterday and was bloody amazing. I could talk about a bet that I'm going to put on this week. I was going to pick the bet whilst doing this video, a football bet. I've done that before here. I could talk about wrestling, which, if I'm being 100% honest, I haven't watched much of in the last couple of weeks. I could talk about, well, there's a few options. My COVID booster that I had on Saturday that made me feel like shit for the last 48 hours. I felt bloody awful since having that booster. Or just how busy I'm going to be this Christmas, or this week even, doing Christmassy stuff. How annoying would it be to be... Sorry guys, I'm literally, we're going to talk about this in a bit, but I've got Sky Sports News on in the background and Marcelo Bielsa's on there. You have to ask yourself, just how interesting is that floor in front of him? He is constantly looking at the floor like this. He's been spoken to, his translators have to do all the translating, and Bielsa just spends the whole time looking at the floor. I mean, he did great with Leeds, got him out of the Championship, kept up in the Premier League, but I find him a right annoying bastard. It's just the way he won't look at people. I mean, when you're being interviewed, for God's sake, have a bit of respect. I know I sound terrible for saying that, but I really do not think it's fair that he just thinks he can look at the ground and not look at the people that are asking him questions, who are going out their way to interview him. Anyways, bear with us a sec, guys. So, what conclusion as to the video that I should do did I come up with? I'm assuming you're thinking. Okay, well, today we're going to talk about, I'm going to review the Premier League, as we are about a third of the way through the season. We're going to take a little look at what we've learned 13 games into the season, as we come up to a very, very busy part with the Christmas period about to kick in, and once that does, it'll be manic. So we're going to have a little look at what we've learned in that time. So we'll start at the bottom of the league currently, go through each team and what I feel we've learned. Okay, bottom of the table, we have Newcastle United on 6 points after 13 games. They don't have a win yet. They've drawn 6 games and lost 7. Now, obviously, unless you've been living under a big rock, you know they were taken over by Amanda Staveley and the company that she represents, whoever that is, I forget now. And they have a lot of money behind them. Maybe some Newcastle fans could even be excused for thinking all our saviours are here. We've got rid of Mike Ashley. I'd be interested to ask a Newcastle fan, if you are, let me know. Would you take relegation right now under the new ownership, or staying in the Premier League under Mike Ashley and Steve Bruce? I've got a feeling you'd take relegation, which I don't blame you for. I often think this about teams, not so much Newcastle. I'm thinking because I do believe they have the potential to do very well in the Premier League. I'm not teams who are typically down the bottom of the league. You know, not even Norwich is really, because they go up and go down all the time, but teams every season, give or take, and don't like to spend money, and one or two other teams. I often think to myself, I bet their fans enjoy being in the Championship once every so often, so they can win something and be good at in a league. So that's a bit more fun for them every once in a while. And I believe it'd be fun for Newcastle fans right now. You can't tell me they'd not rather see them ripping it up in the Championship, winning and playing great football at that level, than getting beaten or drawing every other bloody game in the Premier League. No wins in 13. Now, I've never been in that position being a United fan, but I can imagine it's bloody horrible to know that there's a good chance, more of a chance that you're going to lose than win or draw. And a boot. Just lifted up the camera slightly there. Yeah, so Newcastle, bottom of the league, no wins after 13 games, new owners, the manager's gone, Mike Ashley is gone, Eddie Howe's come in. Now when a new manager comes in, they call it like a new manager bounce or something like that. For example, Norwich, Dean Smith has gone in, he's got a win and a draw in his first 2 games. Great results. And giving them a chance of staying up. Well, he does that, gives them a good chance. Over in and Villa, no wins in 5 losses I think it was in a row. They bring in Steven Gerrard, 2 wins in a row. Tottenham with Conte, okay, not brilliant, but they got the win against Leeds. Yes, they then lost to Mura, but you know what I'm saying. Then you look at it at Newcastle. Eddie Howe has been in for 3 games, I believe. The first one he wasn't allowed to be a part of because he had COVID. That was a 3-3 draw with Brentford, from what I remember. What was their last result before the weekend? I'll have to have a little look. I should have had this information ready to go. I'm sure they've lost their last 2 matches. Oops. Let's have a look. Alright, okay, so they had the 3-3 draw with Brentford, and then a 2-0 loss away at Arsenal. So although the new managers come in, they have conceded 5 goals in their last 2 matches, scoring 3 against Brentford, mind. What have we found after 13 games rather? Well, we found out that you can take the manager out, but unless there is big changes, then it makes no bloody difference, really, does it? So they've not had a transfer window yet. They'll get one in January. Will Eddie Howe be allowed to go out and spend like 100 million, 150 million? And if he does, will he be able to get the right players? There is no point at all going out and signing Philippe Coutinho. You do not need a Philippe Coutinho in a relegation battle. Yeah, I get you need a bit of quality, but not like that. No thank you. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd say no, stay away. I think they need Premier League experience. James Tarkowski has been mentioned over and over again. I'd say yeah, why not? A James Ward-Prowse, if you can convince him. Well, he's just signed a new deal with Southampton, so that probably wouldn't happen. Hell, even a Phil Jones, who has a lot to prove. Hasn't played in God knows how long on a regular basis. Maybe a Jesse Lingard. There are a lot of players you could look to bring into that Newcastle side who would significantly improve it. So yeah, I'd be looking at doing that if I was Newcastle. You need a top striker as well, because Callum Wilson is injured way too often and cannot be relied on to stay fit, which for him is a shame. But it's even more of a shame for Newcastle fans who selling club when a big team or big money is offered. I'd look against Sebastian Haller. Yes, I know he's basically the equivalent of Joe Linton. He came into West Ham for a decent amount of money, went out at a loss, I believe. He's currently the top scorer in the Champions League. He's banging in goals for fun at Ajax, and I'd say Sebastian Haller to Newcastle would be a great deal for them. Whether or not they can get it done, I don't know, but that's what I'd be looking at if I was Newcastle. Will Newcastle go down this season on current form? Yes, because if you only have 6 points after 13 games and you're a third of the way through the season, you look at another 2/3, so another 25 games. Are they going to pick up the points they need to stay up? You'd say currently they need about 34 points, give or take. Because they normally say 40 points is the target to stay up, isn't it? Guys, if you can hear a rack in the background like a piano, it's our neighbour playing the bloody piano at 10 to 9 in the morning. Noisy kids. I'll try and cover this up a little bit so we can avoid some of that if we can. So I think 34 points over 25 games. I don't know how that works. How many points a game you need? Basically, then 34, that's 10. There's at least 11 wins they need, or 6 wins would get you, 5 wins would get you 15, 6, 18, 24. If they got 8 wins and 10 more draws, then they might be alright. But yeah, I can definitely see Newcastle going down at this rate because their form is just pretty bang average, or worse than bang average. It's pretty awful, their form is. So yeah, I can see Newcastle being relegated as it is right now. Guys, I'll have this video in like 4 parts, I believe, because I'm just going to be spending too much time on each team. Let's go on to second bottom in the Premier League, and that is Norwich City. They're currently on 9 points after 13 games, level with Burnley on 9 points. In terms of results, Norwich have 2 wins, 3 draws and 8 losses. So yes, they've lost one more game than Newcastle, but they do have themselves 2 wins, and they got a draw at home to Wolves on Saturday. It was goalless, they didn't score, but they kept a clean sheet against the Wolves team who'd been on a decent run in the last 5 or 6 weeks. So beginning of the season, Daniel Farker's there. I'm thinking already this is just a matter of time before they go straight back down. This is Norwich, who have a history in the last 3 or 4 seasons of coming up and going back down. They were promoted under Daniel Farker in the past. They went back down. They were in the Championship for 1 season. They came straight back up. They did spend more money than in the previous time they was in the Premier League, no doubt about that. The problem was, did they spend it on the right players? What I mean by that is like good quality players. I'm not too sure. And they sold Emi Buendia, who I don't watch much Championship football for my sins, so to speak. I should watch a lot more. But apparently he was the best player in the Championship last season. I did see him in the Premier League for Norwich a season or 2 ago. But this lad was sold before the season even started. He's not really kicked on at Villa. He was dropped against Palace time is really strange. You think you're a team that's struggling, it'd make a lot of sense to bring him back into the fold. So Norwich struggled a lot. Campbell got a couple of games here and there, I believe. I didn't think they'd sack him. I honestly thought he would stick around Daniel Farker because that's just the type of team Norwich am. Why sack somebody mid-season when we already expect to go back down? The money they get from being in the Premier League helps the club run very successfully. They're a well-run club. But I guess they want to give themselves a chance because, okay, you go up to the Premier League, you get, let's say, 100 million quid. You go back down. What about the money you get if you stay in the Premier League? So you go up, you get 100 million. If you then stay in the Premier League, you get another 150 million or whatever it might be. Whereas if you go down, you're then paying Premier League wages in the Championship. It don't make sense. So they've got rid. Farker has gone, and they've given themselves a genuine chance of at least battling it out to stay up. Dean Smith, who seemed to have the faith of the Villa fans and the Villa board up until the last 6 weeks. They sell Jack Grealish in the summer. He's given a load of money. Leon Bailey, Buendia, Danny Ings, Ashley Young, etc., etc. He was backed in the market, and yet, 10 games into the season, 11 games in, he's sacked. I think it was 10 games in. They'd lost 5 on the bounce, I believe, and the club just thought, no, we're going to pull the plug now and give somebody else a chance. I get it in the respect that the club believe they should be higher up the table. Okay, I get that. The club want Villa to be pushing for Europa League places, I guess. But so Smith went, and they brought in Steven Gerrard back to Norwich. Dean Smith has gone in there, and you could say, I at the time said they're getting ready for Championship football. He has experience down there with Villa and Brentford, and League One experience with Walsall, and he'll be a steady hand. They have every chance of coming back up with Dean Smith there, and I thought they're ready to go down, just with a different voice. Because Daniel Farker did not inspire me to do anything. If you watch him, if you listen to him, I don't think he could inspire a penguin to go for a swim, let alone anything else. So Farker went, and Smith came in, and a win and a draw, great results. With that form, they stay up. You do that a few more times, and you'll give yourself every chance of staying up. Do I think they will? I honestly think they might come up short, even if they continue their good form. Because, everyone says this, don't they? Or Burnley know how to stay up. They know when to come good. That's all well and good until that one season when you're not able to come good and things don't go your way and you end up coming up short. Then that is a worry that Sean Dyche should genuinely have. Maybe this is the season where they can't turn it around. If that happens, then there's every chance Norwich stay up. Without that happening, I think it's between Norwich and Newcastle who go down. I think the other two teams, as we get into shortly, will definitely go down. I think so anyway. And that'll be between Norwich and Newcastle. If Norwich continue their good form, if Newcastle buy the right players and start showing good form, yeah, I'd say it's 50-50 at the minute for Norwich. Next in 18th we have Burnley. Played 12. Their game against Tottenham was called off yesterday due to bad weather. They've won 1 game, drawn 6, lost 5. So not good form really at all. 5 losses. as well. I'd say their fans probably do get a bit fed up of the start the season. We know we're going to do crap for at least about 2.5 months, 3 months at a push. And if we're lucky, we'll come good towards the mid-season. And that seems to be how it goes with Burnley. But will they end up selling their main man? One of their main men, James Tarkowski, his contract is coming to an end. There's talk of Newcastle. Apparently West Ham will be in for him again. I think Burnley needs to keep hold if they have any hope at all of staying up this season. Just because they don't have the quality in reserve. I'll sell Tarkowski because got whoever. No, I don't think they have that. They do every season. Bad starts. I mean, the lack of funding at that club is ridiculous. And yet they brought in a great player. When he signed, I was like, okay, he's either going to stick around for 12 months and bugger off, or he's going to be a complete flop. And he's been fantastic. And I apologise, my mind has gone blank on me. What's his name? Let me look. I'm going to kick myself here because I know the name, but he's just gone. He's the lad they brought in from flipping it from Leon. I can't believe I forgot his name. The left back. There you go, Maxwell Cornet. He's actually on as a forward. If you check out their list, he's on there as a forward, but he plays left back, or left wing back, or left wing. He plays literally anywhere on that left hand side, but from what I heard at the time, he's been brought in as a left back, and he's brilliant. Look at some of the goals he scored. But then at the same time, he's like their best quality player, and Burnley have a history of signing championship players and hoping for the best. Josh Brown will bring him in and hope that he can become a Premier League quality player. A few other players they've done that with, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, Phil Bardsley, who when he was at Stoke, I was like, bloody hell, he's still getting a game. He's been at Burnley for God knows how long now, about 3 or 4 years. Sorry guys, I was watching some on Sky Sports News. Yeah, so personally I think Burnley might come short. I'd be very frustrated if I was their fans and not investing, because they make a lot of money every single year. Don't doubt that. They definitely do get their money from the Premier League, like all Premier League teams do. And they've been up there a good few years now. And yet they don't invest. They do not spend the money on that squad like they could do. I get it, they're a well-run club, but sometimes you have to take a chance. And with the amount of money they must have in the plus they got new owners, like in the last 2 years or whatever it was. Yet Dyche's seen none of that investment. New owners, yet no investment really of any kind. I think their top signing still Chris Wood for like 15 million, something like that. Will Burnley stay up? If they keep James Tarkowski, they stay up. If they let him go, they go down, in my honest opinion. Nick Pope, from being tipped to be the England #1 a couple of years ago, he still makes the everyday save, but is he really pulling up any trees anymore? I'm not too sure. Anyway guys, that is the end of part 1 of our Premier League review. 1/3 of the season in. I need to go and get my hair cut. So take it easy, and I'll see you all again very soon.